A king was once hunting in a big forest. He was so focused on chasing animals that he didn't notice how far he had gone. When evening came, he stopped and looked around, but he realized he was completely lost. He tried to find his way back but couldn't. Just then, he saw an old woman walking toward him. Her hands shook, and her eyes were sharp. But she was no ordinary woman, she was a witch. "Good woman," the king said, "can you show me the way out of this forest?" The old woman smiled in a way that made him uneasy. "Oh, I can help you, king," she said. "But on one condition. If you do not agree, you will never leave this forest and will die of hunger." The king felt a chill down his spine. "What is the condition?" he asked. "I have a daughter," the woman said, "who is so beautiful that no one in the world can match her. If you make her your queen, I will show you the way out." The king was desperate to escape. Though he did not like the idea, he agreed. The old woman led him to a small house, where her daughter sat by the fire. She was indeed beautiful, but when the king looked at her, he felt a strange fear in his heart. Still, he had given his word. He lifted the girl onto his horse, and the old woman guided him out of the forest. When they reached his palace, the wedding took place, but the king already had 7 children, 6 boys and 1 girl, from his first wife. He loved them more than anything in the world. He feared that their new stepmother might harm them, so he hid them away in a castle deep in the forest. The castle was so well hidden that even he wouldn't have found it without a magical reel of thread. When he threw the thread in front of him, it unwound itself and showed the way. The king often visited his children, and the new queen grew jealous. She noticed his frequent absences and wanted to know where he went. She bribed the king's servants with gold, and they told her the secret of the hidden castle and the magical thread. The queen was determined to get rid of the children. Using witchcraft, she sewed tiny white shirts with a terrible spell woven into them. One day, when the king was away, she stole the magical thread and followed it to the castle. The children saw someone approaching and thought it was their father. Excited, they ran toward her. But as soon as she reached them, she threw the enchanted shirts over their shoulders. The moment the shirts touched their bodies, the boys transformed into swans and flew away into the sky. The queen smiled in triumph. She believed she had gotten rid of the children forever. But she did not know that the youngest daughter had not run out to greet her brothers. The little girl had stayed inside the castle and was now all alone. The next day, when the king came to visit, he found only his daughter. "Where are your brothers?" he asked in alarm. With tears streaming down her face, she told him what had happened. She had seen her brothers flying away as swans and had collected the feathers they left behind as proof. The king was heartbroken, but he could not believe that his wife had done such a cruel thing. Fearing that he might lose his daughter as well, he decided to take her back to the palace. But the girl was terrified of her stepmother. She begged, "Father, let me stay here just one more night." That night, when everyone was asleep, she packed a few things and ran away into the forest. She walked all night and all the next day until she was too tired to go any farther. Then, she found a small hut and went inside. Inside, she saw 6 tiny beds. Afraid to sleep in one, she crawled under a bed and lay on the hard floor. As the sun set, she heard a strange sound. She peeked out and saw 6 swans flying through the window. As soon as they landed, they blew on each other, and their feathers fell off like shirts. In their place stood 6 young men, her brothers. Overjoyed, she ran to them, and they hugged her tightly. But their happiness didn't last long. "You cannot stay here," they told her sadly. "This hut belongs to robbers. If they find you, they will kill you." "Can't you protect me?" she asked. "We wish we could," they said. "But we can only take off our swan skins for a short time each evening. After that, we turn back into swans." Tears filled the girl's eyes. "Is there no way to free you?" "There is one way," the eldest brother said. "But it is very difficult. You must not speak or laugh for 6 years. In that time, you must sew 6 shirts from starflowers. If you speak a single word before they are finished, all your work will be wasted." The girl's heart was heavy, but she was determined. She climbed a tree and spent the night there. In the morning, she started collecting starflowers and began to sew. She spoke to no one. She did not smile. She only worked. One day, while she was sitting in the tree, a group of hunters passed by. They saw her and called out, "Who are you?" She did not answer. "Come down," they said. "We will not hurt you." Still, she was silent. The hunters grew impatient. They climbed the tree, lifted her down, and took her to their king. The king was young and kind. He was struck by her beauty but was puzzled by her silence. He tried speaking to her in many languages, but she said nothing. Despite this, he fell in love with her and said, "I will marry this girl and no one else." His mother, however, did not like the new queen. "She does not speak," she whispered to her son. "Who knows who she really is?" A year later, the queen gave birth to a child. But the wicked mother took the baby away and told the king that the queen had killed her own child. The king refused to believe it. The same thing happened with her second and third child. Each time, the old woman stole the baby and blamed the queen. The king was heartbroken but still loved his wife. However, after the third time, the court demanded justice. The queen, unable to defend herself, was sentenced to be burned at the stake. On the day of her execution, she carried the 6 almost finished shirts in her arms. Only one sleeve was missing on the last one. As she stood on the pile of wood, she saw 6 swans flying toward her. Her heart pounded. It was time. As they reached her, she threw the shirts over them. In an instant, the swan skins fell away, and her brothers stood before her, human once more, except for the youngest, who still had one swan's wing instead of an arm. Now that she could finally speak, she turned to the king and said, "Dearest husband, I am innocent." She told him everything: the wicked stepmother, the enchanted shirts, and the stolen children. Servants were sent to find the babies, and they were returned safely. As for the wicked mother, she was punished for her crimes. At last, the queen, the king, and her 6 brothers lived happily together for many years, free from sorrow and full of joy.